welcome to the Recast cast. It is the fourth one of these. We're still doing it. Most podcasts end after 8 episodes, so we're halfway to the end point. I am your host, GCR, and with me, as always,
it's me, C, the host of things on Poprika. Man, excited, overjoyed to be back with GCR to do another casting, man. Another recast.
It is just it's the thought exercise we all need. I think this one's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a tough one. I don't know how it's going to translate within Poprika.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of the older movies. I don't know how it's going to translate. I've been thinking about that for like 2 weeks now. I don't know how the listenership is going to be, but also forget the listenership. If you listen to this and you enjoyed it, then in the end, that's all that matters. Right?
It's all that matters. And really, this is just you and I indulging ourselves anyway. Let's be honest.
That's what. But you said it's a thought exercise, and I feel like we're taking on the spirit of Wizards casting calls. Yeah. When we do these, man. Remember that in the Wizard magazine? Like, that's what I look forward to every month with Wizard magazine is whatever new comic book, whatever they cast. And then they have like whoever the hot stars were of the time. And that was always interesting to check out. I feel like we're carrying on the spirit of Wizards casting call.
Well, in this one, so this is a movie from 1960s. This movie is bound. I'm surprised we haven't seen its remake yet, to be honest.
They did Magnificent Seven. You know, we kind of have seen the remake. It just wasn't called The Dirty Dozen. It was called Inglourious Bastards.
Right. Or, I mean, this is Hollywood's it's the original Expendables. And by any stretch of the imagination, you could say that the Expendables is the remake of The Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, it's not the original Guys on a Mission movie. I think that's still Seven Samurai.
Sure.
But this is one of the definitive like ensemble, like dudes doing dude shit war movie.
Yeah, this was originally supposed to, I think John Wayne was supposed to be in it originally, but I think Lee Marvin said no. That's just what I've heard.
He just called up John Wayne and said no and hung up the phone. And it was
Lee Marvin actually went to war. John Wayne is a pussy.
No. Yeah. I'm glad you said that and not I. I 100% agree. Lee, this was my first introduction to Lee Marvin. I watched this movie for the first time like maybe 15, 20 years ago.
Yep. It was about the same time for me when I first watched it. I watched it with my dad. He was like, hey, let's put on this war movie. And I remember thinking then I'd like to see this movie with a modern audience.
Boom. You had the idea for Recast Cast back in like the late 90s.
Yes.
This was one of my first 10, I want to say, like Netflix as a disc. Like when Netflix first came out, I was like, okay, I'm just going to make, and you remember you had to like, if you had the Netflix discs, all you young kids, they did discs back in the days, and you could set up a queue on your Netflix account. And then like, as you would turn them in, they would just see you next on your queue. And my first maybe 70 were movies I'd never seen before. So I gave myself my own film school via Netflix. And this was one of those first 10 for me.
Isn't it wild that that's how Netflix was? I mean, that wasn't that long ago.
And people forget that they still do that.
They still do it.
Douglas Davidson still uses this. He's the only person I know that still does.
They still do it. To this day, it's a service Netflix offers, which who knew? Still wild.
Yeah. Like when they first announced that, they were like, we're going to be doing discs. And I'm like, I know people treat stuff that's not theirs like shit.
Right.
Those discs are going to get scratched all to hell. But strangely enough, no, I never got a bad disc, never got a scratch disc, and tried my hardest to make sure I turned them back in a usable condition.
That's how I watched The West Wing. I watched it disc at a time.
I'm still in season 3. I need to get back to West Wing.
Great show.
Great show, man. Great show. We'll talk off mic about West Wing, man.
Not another podcast.
No. I got into a whole conversation with a buddy of mine about HBO prestige shows and where they were lacking, like years they didn't have a prestige show. But neither one of us mentioned West Wing. We forgot about that. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. We're talking about Dirty Dozen. Like you said, it's a 1967 war movie. And as I like to do with each of these shows, man, 67, I'm going to hit you with the top 10 movies of 1967. Let me know if you think Dirty Dozen deserve to be in the list.
Bring it on.
Number 1, The Graduate.
Fantastic.
Dustin Hoffman joint. Number 2, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? The original Sidney Poitier joint, not the Bernie Mac Ashton Kutcher remake.
You don't say.
Yeah. Number 3, Bonnie and Clyde. That's your boy
Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty, Faye Dunaway.
I think
Fucking
so.
up the Oscars for us.
Sure.
Yeah. Number 4, surprise, The Dirty Dozen.
Look at that.
Look at
Big
that. 5.
ensemble movie, man. There's some heavy hitters in here.
Yeah. 5, Valley of the Dolls. Never seen it before.
Me either.
I know there's a Valley that I think of Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. I'm not sure if that's a sequel or what the case is. Number 6, which I find interesting, To Sir with Love, Sidney Poitier, 2 movies in the top 10 for this year.
Fantastic.
Rest in peace. He passed this year, right? Early this year?
Yeah.
Points.
Who called? Did somebody call that?
I do believe I called that. Not going to say that, but I called it. Number 7, You Only Live Twice, Roger Moore joint.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry. That's Sean Connery joint. Yeah, Sean Connery joint. Number 8, the only one I've never heard of before, Thoroughly Modern Millie. Never heard of it.
It sounds like it's probably a musical, one of those like Singing in the Rain types.
Thoroughly Modern Millie is a 1967 American musical romantic. Julie Andrews, Sound of Music. Number 9, The Jungle Book, the original Disney animation.
Oh, the Disney one.
Yep. And then number 10, Camelot, which is also strangely a musical fantasy drama.
It's a musical about. I'm gonna guess is it like King Arthur the musical?
Yeah, pretty much it's King Arthur the musical. I did a little bit of digging into that when I looked at this list earlier in the week, and no, it did not get good reviews at all.
It's still top 10 movie 1967.
It's still top 10. I saw it in here. I'm not going to look too deep at it. It did not have a high Rotten Tomatoes at all. But yeah, so that's your top 10. Like I said, Dirty Dozen, number 4. Do you think that sounds about right for this year? I'm not very well versed on this random year of 67.
No, if you were to shift this into the 70s, which I think is the greatest collection of movies in a decade, I could talk about movies more. I would have to say it's probably where it's supposed to be. I know it had huge draw, right? I mean, look at the cast.
Yeah.
So it's probably exactly where it should be.
That's the conclusion I came to. Is exactly where it should be. I agree with you that for some reason, like 70s is like post Watergate. Everyone's on their thriller shit at that time. Not the Michael Jackson video. I'm talking about like political thrillers and whatnot. Like the 70s is just a dope ass. You get French Connection, you get The Godfathers. The Conversation is in there as well. French Connection. I already said that. Yeah, all sorts of good shit coming out of the 70s, but the 60s, I don't know a lot about. But it was nice revisiting the Dirty Dozen. But we're here to recast this shit, sir.
You bet.
What did you have any thoughts? How did you approach this?
Honestly, I approached it thinking I was going to have to recast about 16 different roles. Because there's the dozen, right? And you'd think if we were going to recast something that was the Dirty Dozen, we'd recast all dozen roles. Mm-hmm. You can't do that. We don't have the time. We're trying to do this in a half an hour, 35 minutes max, right?
Yeah. We want to get you to work. When
we finally pared it down to the ones that we needed to recast, it was 1, a lot easier. And 2, it was kind of, it's a war movie, right? So you try to just what in your head looks like would be fun to see on the movie poster of the new Dirty Dozen. And that's kind of how I approached it.
I never really thought about it like that. Let me just try to, boy, my movie poster will look weird as shit.
I just figured, it's a war movie. It's people aren't, I kind of looked at it as like when they did the A-Team with Liam Neeson.
Who was in contention for one of my casts.
He was also in contention with one of mine.
And then I looked and I was like, oh, this motherfucker is like almost 70 something. So this doesn't make sense.
Not doing it. Makes no sense.
No. Also hasn't been respectable in a decade. All right, then. So yeah, good ensemble war movie. We'll save Saving Private Ryan for later, I would think.
Yeah, that's another good one. See that one? Yeah, That one's gonna be tough because that one you have to cast all the roles, I think.
Yeah, maybe that's a season 2 for the recast.
We're recasting Lee Marvin's character, Major Reisman, Ernest Borgnine's character, General Warden, Charles Bronson's character, John Cassavetes, Jim Brown's, and we're doing the
Telly
Savalas character and the Donald Sutherland character because I mean he's a legend. You got to put him in there.
You always give President Snow his due credit.
Oh, absolutely. All the other ones, all the rest of the dozen, while I would have loved to have recast them, I just kind of put a little, I put a little in my notes. And I wrote this a while ago. The rest is just a mix of Pete Davidson's, Steve-O's, Michael Pena's, whoever the current bankable WWF star is, and Bill Hader. That's the rest of the dozen.
This one, it was hard to slip a lost character into. I'll say that much. Yeah. I'm not super happy with my choice, but I must keep up airs. But I agree with you. The rest is a lot of first act The Suicide Squads.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That's what I figured. And I thought, it'd be a good place to put Steve-O. He's, get him a big gig.
Get him a role. Yeah. Something outside of Jackass. Let him get his shines. 4 lines at most.
At most.
All right, then. And so enough, but you put them in the trailer to get that Jackass crowd. They're going to leave disappointed, but you already got their money.
Right. They're going to think, wow, how big of a role? Is this like a Steve-O joint? Like, is this his movie?
A Steve-O joint.
Right. It's not. It certainly isn't. No. Dies pretty quick.
Dies. It somehow is actually the Dirty Dozen -1 because he's the first.
Right.
He's the guy at the beginning of the movie that gets hanged is pretty much what
Steve-O.
This is.
Exactly.
Steve-O. Yeah. All right. So where do you want to start?
I think we got to start with the first character of the characters we're casting is Lee Marvin's character. It's Major Reisman. He's the first guy we see in the film of our casting. I think he's kind of the heart and soul.
He is the heart and soul of this joint.
I think we start with Lee Marvin, my guy Lee Marvin. He's a handsome bastard.
A handsome fucking dude. Like Lee Marvin had that square ass. Like if they did Batman back in the 60s.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Lee Marvin is my Batman. The voice is gravelly as all hell.
Yeah. There's a great picture of him online. I'll send it to you afterwards because this is not a visual medium. But he's got like he hasn't shaved in a while and he's smoking a cigarette. He's wearing this cool cable net sweater.
Nice.
Dude looks just cool as shit.
Nice. Yeah. He was one of we don't have cats like this in New Hollywood, man. It's unfortunate. No. All right, then. So I'll kick us off. I think you kicked it off last time. Lee Marvin plays Major John Reisman. So I was looking for someone who kind of had that. He's like 40 something when he made this movie. I think I went a little bit older with my character. I think he's closer to 50, not sure. Someone with a little bit of authoritarianism, someone who has a presence, someone you can kind of take seriously. And we just saw my cast earlier this year in a movie who does exactly that. I'm going John Hamm. My John Reisman.
Look, it's a great John Hamm. John Hamm almost made my cast if we were going to cast more than this 7 that we're doing tonight. He was in my cast. Okay. I love it. You can't go wrong with John Hamm as Lee Marvin.
I think you cannot go wrong as John Hamm. We'll see what you come up with. Maybe I did go wrong, but we shall see. So my Major John Reisman, I think a person who can throw his weight around, John Hamm.
Right away, you're getting early Poprika votes with John Hamm. I think.
Let's hope so. So this is 4, right? So is this 3 or this 4?
This is 4. We episode 1 hasn't been released yet, so we're actually tied.
We're tied right now, man.
Yeah,
eager to see how this is tiebreakers. There's nothing to fuck with. What are you going with?
Same thing. I went with a guy. He's probably older than Lee Marvin was when he did this film in '67. Was looking for the same thing. Handsome, leading man, gravitas. I went with Josh Brolin as Lee Marvin.
I deleted Josh Brolin's name and put John Hamm.
Oh, we almost had our official first casting.
A double cast. He would have been too busy.
Yeah, he could have done it.
Yeah, talk about Brolin. Why do you think it's Brolin for this?
I think if you were to do that thing where you had like a picture of Lee Marvin and a picture of Josh Brolin and I like alternated them really quick, I think your brain would start thinking that they're the same person.
It's the same picture.
I think he would be. I think he would carry the respect of the other actors. I think he could. I just think he'd fill the role well.
Yeah, I feel like he'd be kind of his role in Sicario, but not as dickish.
Yeah, and no Hawaiian shirts.
no Hawaiian shirts, no flip flops or bare feet or whatever he had there.
And I think it would play. I think that scene early with Lee Majors and Ernest Borgnine, where they're kind of like measuring each other's dicks about how this mission's going to go. Yeah, I think he would play that role well.
I agree. I think he would come at it with that like dry humor that he has.
Yeah.
Yeah, or he'd be trying to like sneak off some jokes, and then it's like with the straight face on.
And he's got that sarcasm down well.
He's got the sarcasm down really well. I think he did a Hot Ones a little while back. That's worth checking out there, all you watchers of YouTube's Hot Ones.
He also interviewed himself just recently for like GQ.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking about. Jeremy Renner backed out suddenly, and we got Josh Brolin interviewing Josh Brolin. Seriously.
Fantastic.
It is fantastic. Where do we go from here, good sir?
Well, speaking of Ernest Borgnine, I think we go right to General Warden.
Major General Sam Warden, kind of like the overall top dog at the movie, would you say?
Yeah, I would say he gives everyone in the movie their marching orders. Also a dickhead.
Yeah, I'll say a dickhead, but a dickhead who, in the whole second act as they're capturing him and during the war exercise, I think he kind of gives the Dirty Dozen a bit of their due respect.
Sure. No, he does for sure.
Definitely starts as a dickhead.
Yes, he starts as a well, I mean, he doesn't care that they he's not commuting their sentences. There's not and then he kind of warms up to it because of Lee Marvin. Mm-hmm. So you are correct. He gives them the respect that they deserve for playing the war game.
Yeah. It takes a little while, but he warms up to him. This is one that I struggle with a lot. But
it's the first one I cast.
Really?
Yeah.
You need someone who's older than John Hamm, but who still has his own bit of weight and gravitas. And I just realized I did not check to see if this guy was older than John Hamm. I'm pretty sure he is.
I hope he's not.
It's Timothy Chalamet.
You're right.
Major General Sam Ward. I'm going Bryan Cranston.
Fantastic pick. Can't go wrong with Bryan Cranston. I think in anything, he's got to be older than John Hamm.
He's got to be. I'm not going to check.
I'm putting a decade on him.
You're putting a whole ass decade. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of fact checking right now. But yeah,
why Cranston?
Another dude who I think can harness the gravitas of being Heisenberg and just can command, right?
Right.
We don't get a whole lot of this character. And I kind of liken it to the beginning of that Godzilla movie that he's in. He's just in the first act. Right. He does have a pretty decent impact on that first act. So not a lot of screen time, but still has a good bit of presence.
Well,
he knows how to have presence.
It also looks good on that movie poster.
And also, let's go on that. Man, I did not think about movie posters at all.
Well, just seeing Cranston really big on the poster. I mean, he gets. I'd assume he gets some top billing, even though he's not in the movie that much.
I wouldn't give him top billing.
No. A name like Bryan Cranston.
I have someone later on down the road that I think would have one bigger name. Okay. Bryan Cranston, I think.
It's a big name.
Big-ish. Cranston has him by 15 years.
15. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because John Hamm's what, 30?
I wish. John Hamm is 51.
51?
Cranston 66. Wow. Yeah. Shout out to John Hamm. Don't know. His career went really weird. Should have been a leading man. Did not end up like that. At all.
Really, he went from The Town to he's in insurance commercials.
Yeah. I thought The Town might do it for him. bit part and talk. We already talked about John Hamm. Who do you have going for Sam Warden here?
First guy I cast, I thought it was the only guy who could play the role. Again, I wanted somebody older than Josh Brolin.
Mm-hmm.
I went with Alec Baldwin.
Ooh.
I think he plays that character very well.
So like the Departed Alec Baldwin is kind of
it's the Departed Alec Baldwin. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. It might be the same guy. I don't know.
Time traveled back to World War II.
I'm creating this weird Departed verse, but yeah, I think there'd have to be a movie in between where he finds a time machine, decides to go back to World War II. But yeah, I think it's the same character.
Okay, all right then. I get that. We'll wait till the Back to the Future recast,
right?
And then you can throw him in there somewhere too.
Well, as Biff Tannen.
Departing Alec Baldwin is hands down my favorite Alec Baldwin.
Me too. It's Departed Alec Baldwin and then 30 Rock Alec Baldwin.
That's my number 2 Alec Baldwin.
Yep.
Yeah. I think he kind of is playing to the public's perception of who he is in 30 Rock.
Yes.
And he does that well. And then he's just funny as all get out, unintentionally, I guess, in The Departed. But yeah, Alec Baldwin, good call.
He was my very first casting. So
Borgnine comes on screen with his goofy looking ass. And you go, that's Alec Baldwin.
That's Alec Baldwin right there. That's who that's going to be.
All right then. Well, hell, I can't really fault you on that one. Every time Borgnine comes on screen, I just think of Escape from New York.
Yeah.
All right.
It's hard not to. He's a hard guy to look at.
Hard to look at. Can you please make sure when I die that goes on my headstone?
Sure. It'll just say he was a hard guy to look at.
No name, no dates.
Just that. Like who's here? I don't know, but he was fucking ugly.
They buried him upside down. Okay, where do we go after our Major General Sam Warden, sir?
Oh man, well, you move into all we have left are the
dirty,
the convicts, right? Hard labor and public hangings. That was all.
That's what it's all about, man. Life sentences or hangings.
So the guy. Do we go to Cassavetes? Do we go to Franco, the one who gave the most pushback there at the beginning?
We can go with Franco. Yeah, Victor R. Franco. You want to go first with this one?
Sure. Wanted a younger guy. Wanted a guy who could play that brash, not going to take any nonsense from this guy. You know, definitely needed to change the race of this fella from white. So and the only guy I could think of for this role is a friend of the show, Michael B. Jordan.
Friend of the show, Michael B. Jordan.
I think he plays this role really well.
I think he can do both angles. Like he can play the aggressive, challenge the authoritative. We saw that in Black Panther. But then by the time he comes around, he can soften up a little bit. And we've seen him play that role as well.
And I think and Franco's character kind of does that. He goes from not buying in to buying in. And I think he would play that well.
I agree. That is not a bad call. I did no race or gender swapping for this one. But you beat me to the punch there. I for a while I thought, where could you put Michael B. Jordan? And I had him for Donald Sutherland's Vernon L. Pingley. Because let's be honest, a lot of these actors in the 67 Dirty Dozen are like mid to late 40s. Haggard looking, a bunch of character actors, with the exception of Lee Marvin, right? Just talk about hard to look at. There's a lot of hard to look at here, but Sutherland is the youngest of the group, so that's where I was kind of flirting with Michael B. Jordan, like cast a bunch of middle-aged white dudes and then throwing him there as you are doing right now. Good call.
They all are guys like they're like all in their 40s. They're just all like ugly guys. Like I'm trying. Like even Bronson wasn't like a good-looking guy.
In nobody's universe is Charles Bronson a good dude, good-looking.
No,
dude.
and it's And it's kind of weird because like it's, Charles Bronson in this movie was probably like 22, but he looks like he's 60. You know what I mean?
He's 40 something. I looked.
Oh, really? Okay. I thought maybe it was just one of those things where all old people look like they're super old when they're super young.
No, they were all super old.
Fuck yeah! So I should have not just figured that they were young guys who looked old because it was 67. Because I would have probably changed all my cast around to just be. I'd have actually taken like 45-year-old actors, like Steve Carell would be in this.
Yeah, Bronson, born in 21. This movie is 67.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Hollywood does not know the average age of military males.
No, God, no.
Like when I actually went into the military, I thought every high-ranking dude was going to be like in his 60s, and no, they're in their 40s.
They're in their 40s.
Yeah, running the country in your 40s. Okay, then, yeah. I went a different route for Cassavetes, Victor R. Franco. I took it from Cassavetes' perspective, actor turned critically acclaimed director.
Oh,
John Cassavetes. So I decided to go that exact route. And I went with the person who would probably be the biggest name on my poster we just alluded to. I went with actor turned critically acclaimed director. I'm going Bradley Cooper for Victor R. Franco.
Look, that looks good on the poster.
Looks good. He's got a face for a poster.
My wife just bought a ticket to the movie. So
even after Nightmare Alley, I'll still cash in a little bit on Bradley Cooper. I mean,
never saw it.
Never. It's a decent, like it's Guillermo del Toro not doing his usual like fucked up fantasy shtick.
Yeah,
and he plays it straight the whole way through, which was really enough like a selling point of the movie. It's Del Toro not doing Del Toro, but it's a noir movie. And when it's kind of whack until the femme fatale, Kate Blanchett, comes into the movie. And when she comes into the movie, that shit gets electric because their chemistry is great. But the rest of it, it's something that you could stream at home if you have that options there. Go ahead and do that.
It's crawled across my screen a couple of times. I never fully put the trigger on it because it's like, I don't know. I don't want to invest that much time in this.
Bradley Cooper, 47 years old. Jesus Christ, man.
Getting up there.
All my Hollywood people are getting old. And I don't know any of the young guys.
I really don't.
Yeah. But a face that you can, because like once they stop like eating hot food and showering with hot water and they get all rough and rugged and raggedy and they get the name Dirty Dozen. They all got these beards going on.
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper can grow a beard.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, my wife is watching the movie just because he's in it.
So we're going to get Star is Born himself, Bradley Cooper, on my joint. Good pick. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Where are we going after that, my mans? We got, we're 4 in or 3? We're 3 in.
We're 3 in. So I told you a while ago when we decided to do the Dirty Dozen that there's only one correct answer for the Robert Jefferson character, for the Jim Brown character.
Uh-huh.
There is only one correct answer.
And what is that?
I will only accept this one answer.
Okay.
He is a running back in the NFL.
Sir, we can't put Ray Rice in our movie.
It's not Ray Rice.
Okay, thank God.
It is not Ray Rice. It is Beast Mode himself. Marshawn Lynch is Jim Brown, is Robert Jefferson in my remake of The Dirty Dozen. If you watched him on that one Will Arnett show about what is it, the murder show?
Murder mystery.
Murderville.
Yeah. I didn't watch that show. Did you watch any of it?
I watched all of it.
How was that?
It's fantastic.
Oh, fair enough.
Marshawn Lynch is the man.
Okay. Okay.
So it's the only answer I'm going. You might not don't even say what your pick is. It's the only answer I'll accept.
We'll skip mine. We'll come back to it later on the end credits. Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call. He's kind of crept in there. He was in season 3 of West Wing. So he's just randomly creeping into the acting sphere. And I'm all for it, to be honest with you. Like I think comedy is the better route for him because he's kind of a goofy dude in the first place.
Sure.
Any running back who hides Skittles in his socks while he plays is okay with me.
I couldn't see any. You have to pick an NFL running back, either current or retired. LaDainian Tomlinson isn't going to do this role any justice. You know,
Reggie Bush, where are you?
Reggie Bush, I'm not. Oh God, what's his name? He played for the Saints, won a Heisman, smokes a lot of dope.
Well, I'm super interested in hearing what person you're talking about.
Ricky Williams.
Ricky fucking Williams.
You might have been able to put Ricky in there, but I don't think Marshawn is definitely in the zeitgeist,
He's definitely in the zeitgeist.
And after seeing him in Murderville, I fell in love with him as a guy on the screen. So Marshawn Lynch is the only pick you can have.
Well, I will give you my far superior or inferior. My far inferior pick for Robert T. Jefferson. I went with Sterling K. Brown.
That's still a good pick.
Still a good pick. He's no beast mode. I think.
No, but your poster's looking really handsome though.
Hey, there's a bunch of rugged, handsome individuals. Yeah.
From John Hamm's penis all the way through to Sterling K. Brown.
Well, that's the whole length of the left side of the poster. It starts at balls and then it goes down to head at the very end of the poster.
God bless it.
God bless it. And you roll it up and it's like a fruit stack.
Is it?
Yeah, Sterling K. Brown, man, This Is Us is over. My man needs something new to do. One of like the preeminent African-American actors. Totally. I feel like that not a whole lot was given for Jim Brown in the role. He kind of has like 8, 9, 10 lines. Pops up every once in a while to say something. Telly Savalas is harassing the fuck out of him for being a black dude. But other than that, man, there's not a whole lot. I think Sterling K. Brown could add a little something extra to the role there.
He'd bring more to the role for sure.
A little bit.
Well, he's an actor, unlike Jim Brown.
There's also that. Or they saw the role and they're like, we don't need much for this role. Right. Call in Jim Brown. We'll see him again in Mars Attacks.
Right. He was in Mars Attacks.
Yeah. It was.
Great movie. Ensemble movie. By the way.
Man, maybe season 2 of the Recast. cast. Sterling K. Brown for Robert T. Jefferson. Where, sir, do we go from here? We are over the halfway mark.
We are. Let's do old Don Sutherland's. Let's do Vernon Pinkley.
Now, before we get into this, you messaged me and you told me do not let me cast someone in particular.
Yes.
For Vernon Pinkley. Did you cast that person?
I did not.
Oh, I'm proud of your self-restraint.
I did not. It was very hard for me not to, because I felt like it was like a legacy, right?
You kind of pulled a half measure there, casting Wyatt Russell in Tombstone.
That's why I was afraid I was going to do it again, and I was going to cast Kiefer Sutherland as Donald Sutherland in the remake of The Dirty Dozen. I didn't though.
Okay, who'd you go with, sir?
I went with the boys Jack Quaid.
It's very fucking good.
Thank you.
That didn't even cross my mind.
Goofy fucker, right? I think he would play. There's the scene where they're like they're like building the barracks and he paints the dude's hand and then just kind of moves his hand and keeps. I think it would. I watched that and was like, I think Jack Quaid could play the big-eared, weird Vernon Pinkley.
I also feel like because he's got that scene where he pretends to be the general and he's inspecting the ranks. I feel like Jack Quaid could pull off that scene pretty well too. Get a little bit of levity up and in his
star's on the rise, right? I mean,
it's definitely. I mean, he's
gotta be.
I already love him better than his father.
Me too, and uncle. Even though he saved the world.
Listen, he saved the world, so he can do no wrong. He also let him know the shitter's full, so that's courtesy. He's courtesy.
Pilot. He flies.
Yeah. For my man, Jack Quaid is good. That's a good call. I went over to the Hunger Games universe.
Oh,
I got Sam Claflin. You familiar with this?
Sam Claflin.
He was Finnick in the Hunger Games one. I don't know what else. He was in Last Night in Soho last year. He popped up for one or two scenes from that as well.
He's a good looking guy too. You're really killing. It's almost like you called my wife and said, "Hey, if you were going to see a remake of The Dirty Dozen, would this cast get you there?" You said earlier you thought the poster of yours would look really weird, but I think not.
All right. I did call your wife and she said, "Who is this?" And the FBI showed up. FBI showed up at my house. They traced the call. So thank you for that, Mrs.
Oh, you're welcome. She's
Mrs. CCR.
She's a very special girl.
A very special girl. She's very plugged into the network. Call the FBI here in 15 minutes. Yeah.
Strange.
On speed dial. Yeah. Sam Claflin. It's an interesting pick. It's another one of those dudes, like decent looking dude. I thought when I first saw him, should be more. When I first saw him in the second one, Catching Fire, I was like, oh, this dude might be something. And then he just wasn't, or he took a lane that I just don't observe. I'm not sure which one.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you anything he's been in since.
Yeah. Like I said, that Last Night in Soho, I think he's in 2 scenes. And I was like, is that motherfucking finna go there? But yeah, there you go. We have 2 spots left. We haven't done Archer J. Maggot, the Telly Savalas, and we haven't done Joseph Ladishaw, the Charles Bronson.
The Charles Bronson character. Do we end with, what's a bigger ending, Savalas or Bronson?
I think Bronson is the bigger ending.
So we move to Arthur Maggot then, yeah?
Yeah.
Just a despicable character.
Just a despicable.
Probably should have just hung him.
Yeah, right off rip. Just hang this guy.
Yeah, Brolin should have looked at him one time and said, "You know what? Find another inmate."
I'll go first on this one.
Okay.
In that same vein of seeing him do this, what a piece of shit. I don't want to see this guy in the movie. I cast Mark Wahlberg.
Perfect. Do you shave his head? Is he bald, Mark Wahlberg? I mean, does he have the trademark Telly Savalas?
Is he Mark Wahlberg? Oh,
Mark Wahlberg.
That's
He would not. I don't think
he'd do it. I don't think.
Well, he doesn't look good bald.
We'll bald cap him. We'll see if he'll agree to a bald cap.
He looks like a.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. A thumb. A human thumb.
Yeah. When he's bald, I would think he would look terrible.
Maybe a big toe.
Probably. Yeah. He looks like a big toe.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg. I feel like he could pull off that religious mumbo jumbo that Maggot's usually spouting off, and all the other guys. He just did that movie of faith earlier, that Father Stew. Yeah, I just realized that. Yeah, so throw him in there. That might lose me some votes, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, Mark Wahlberg for my Archer J. Maggot character.
It's not a recast cast without John Bernthal. So
yes,
that's who I've slid in there and he goes ahead and he shaves his head.
Yeah, he does.
Bernthal plays despicable really well.
Yes, he does. I don't know what depths he goes to, but he does it good.
Yeah, I don't know how he prepares for it, but he gets himself in that place.
Question for you.
So yeah, I went John, a friend of the show, John Bernthal.
Is that a tough hang? Like, do you go to the bar and shoot the shit with John Bernthal? I feel like he might be too intense for it.
I just read an article about him, about how he is when it comes to like intimacy scenes with female leads, he is like Hollywood's greatest guy to be with.
He's like generous.
He's super generous. He's super compassionate. He's super understanding and with boundaries and how we're going to do this. And supposedly he's like a super good dude outside of the fact that it's almost like acting for him is like playing D&D, right? Like little dudes commonly, you find them playing a tank.
Yeah.
I wonder if acting for him is like, I get to be an asshole because I'm not, and this would be like a good release for me. So
okay.
Maybe he's like a real sweetheart, really good. Doesn't let you get too drunk. Make sure he has a ride home. Stuff.
I
good guy.
I think I might tend to agree with you. I wasn't.
And then the camera's rolling. He's just an asshole.
And then he's just Frank Castle.
Yeah,
all
like
day
from
long.
or his character in Sicario.
Oh, that's right. He is in Sicario, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just we're bringing a full Sicario here. I like it. Good call.
That's a whole other podcast where we take an ensemble cast from one movie and have to use that cast in a new movie.
I'm putting Sicario cast, I think, in Inglourious Bastards.
That'd be perfect.
All right, damn, good call on Bernthal. You're coming up aces on this, and I'm not liking it too much. All right, we have
this last one. This is the Bronson
one roll left, man. Chuck motherfucking Bronson, the Death Wish himself, Joseph Ladislaw. Is prisoner number 9, man.
He's the lead, right? He'd be he was the big ticket get for the characters that play the Dirty Dozen. In this movie.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Has the most to do. Has a lot of lines.
The one who gets beat up in the bathroom.
I'll go first because according to my calculations, this is your character from Lost.
Your calculations are correct.
So I'll go first. Both based on, I think, looks to a smaller extent, but more just how his character works on screen and how I think it would play with Josh Brolin. I went with Tom Hardy for Chuck Bronson, also because he was in a movie called Bronson.
No relation
at all to anything. It's just some happenstance.
Just a little bit of happenstance in there. Yeah. When I first heard about this movie, I thought he was playing Charles Bronson.
I did too.
Was quickly informed that is not the case whatsoever.
Not even close.
Not even close. Tom Hardy, man, the king of mumbling. I'm a huge fan of that man. Anything that he is in, I will show up for 1,000-fold.
I agree.
So I just bought my tickets to your cast just so I can see a little bit of Tom Hardy action going on, man. I love that, man. Did you watch Taboo on FX?
Love Taboo.
Taboo.
Went through a weird Top Hat phase, I think, for a couple of weeks.
Really through a weird phase of owning a piece of land called Nook to Sound that everyone was, that Jonathan Bryce was trying to get from me. I love that show so much. I've given up on a season 2.
I believe they just gave us some news on season 2.
It was the news there will be no season 2.
No, I think they gave us a release date.
Oh boy, give me some more Taboo if possible.
Oh boy, well,
lots of Taboo happening. Might have
made it up. Looks like it might have been canceled.
Way to dash somebody's dreams.
Yeah. Never mind.
All right. Good call on Tom Hardy, sir. I like it. My pick for Joseph Ladislaw, as you said, according to your calculations are correct. This is my lost character. This is the one I kind of had to force in. I'm not happy about it, but I'm going with Matthew Fox for Ladislaw. And it's less for his acting prowess and more because he looks good, grimy and fucked up. He's got a good grungy face. I thought maybe
you were going to go with Josh Holloway. I thought you were going to Sawyer me there.
Yeah, I feel like I got to save Holloway in the back pocket for the perfect role. I have something that actually he's kind of aging out of that role. But if we ever cast that particular movie, I keep him in my back pocket for one specific character.
I love that.
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
So yeah, I'm going with Matthew Fox for no good reason other than I got to slide a lost character in here.
He needs more work.
Dude did Party 5, did Lost, and then after Lost said, I'm never doing a long-running TV series again. I saw him in Speed Racer.
He was in Speed Racer. He was also in that fucking Vantage Point movie.
Oh, is he in yes, he is.
He was in Vantage Point.
He's in a Tyler Perry movie too.
He's played by Tyler Perry. So it's
he
Tyler
really
Perry as
everything.
Matthew Fox. He could do anything. Yeah,
he's throw a wig on him, man. He can really do anything. Good for Tyler Perry.
He was also in Bone Tomahawk, which
Matthew Fox. Really, I still haven't watched that movie.
You have not seen. Oh boy, you might have to see Bone Tomahawk real soon.
I've heard a lot about it. I will make sure I will check it out before I see you in person, so we can talk about about that.
It is phenomenal.
I've heard nothing but good things. I just never got around to it. I will see it by the end of this week, or by the end of next week. Yeah, I think it's on Netflix. Last I saw. Okay, so do you want to go over your list one more time, sir?
Sure. For Reisman, I went with Josh Brolin. For General Warden, I went with Alec Baldwin. For R.T. Jefferson, Marshawn Lynch. Vernon Pinkley, I went with Jack Quaid. For Maggot, I went with John Bernthal. For the Cassavetes character, I went with Michael B. Jordan. And for Vladislav, I went with Tom Hardy.
That, sir, is a damn fine list.
I'm feeling good about it.
Damn fine list.
Feeling good about it.
This is one of the definitive World War II movies. Do you feel like your cast of people would be a good like World War II movie cast?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I think, oddly enough, especially Jack Quaid. For some reason, I feel like he seems like a guy that was drafted and doesn't want to be there.
Yeah. I think Jack Quaid might be your ace in the hole for this whole thing. And I'm not liking that too much. For my list, for John Reisman, I have John Hamm. For General Sam Warden, I have Bryan Cranston. For Robert T. Jefferson, I have Sterling K. Brown. For Vernon Pinkley, I have Sam Claflin. For Archer Maggot, Mark Wahlberg, give him something to do.
Great casting. For
Victor Franco, Bradley Cooper. And for Sergeant Władysław, Matthew Fox.
I love your Cassavetes casting. I think Bradley Cooper, that was a great call.
Yeah, I think that that might be all right. And also, yeah, I did not realize he is as old as he is. He might have been able to sneak in there in the John Hamm role in that a younger type deal there. If nothing else, like you said, my poster will look good. I don't know if it will sell tickets though.
Great looking poster.
Just a bunch of ruggedness all over it.
Yes, just a bunch of handsome.
You got some ruggedness on yours, man. Josh Brolin is no Mona Lisa.
He's a good looking guy.
He's got his own
great hair.
He does have great hair.
I wish unlike you and I mean, we're both bald. So
it hurts.
I don't know what that says about us.
It hurts. Josh Brolin is, speaking of recasting things, who I cast as my older Ryan Elliott, though.
Well, fantastic.
Yeah. Like I see Brolin, I'm like, oh shit, that's
when we cast Poprika for a recast special.
We cast the recast
right
in a 3-minute episode. Just tell me who plays me and I'll tell you who plays you. Well, you already know it's Josh Brolin.
Perfect.
Done and done. That's going to be a special feature that you can download while you take a shit.
You're played by Marshawn Lynch. So this is perfect.
That's it for our Dirty Dozen business, man. So we've gone through a couple of genres. We've done our Western. We did a coming of age, which you guys haven't heard, the Lost episode.
Yeah. We did like a heist film.
We did the crime joint, Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah. We've
done a war joint now. But what is left in the bag for us, sir?
Well, we have 2 left on this season. We're saving the big one for last, obviously.
We're not idiots.
I think no, far from it. You gotta go with the British. You gotta go with little Guy Ritchie. And I think we decided on Snatch.
Oh, Snatch. All sorts of, man. We gotta dig deep into our British bags for Snatch.
Yeah, for sure.
That's gonna be interesting.
Because you can't cast like Mark Wahlberg as Turkish, you know?
How long on those sausages, Tommy? No, we're not gonna. No, you gotta throw some British on it. And then, yeah, we can't do that, man. I might just cast Jason Statham as Turkish.
I don't know. This is gonna be a fun one because this is another one too where it's gonna be kind of hard to reduce what we're recasting down to a palatable 30 some minutes, right? Because there's a lot of characters. If you look at the the movie poster for Snatch, it's 6 characters.
Okay.
So it's Statham, it's Pitt, it's Vinnie Jones,
Bulletooth.
What's his name? Dennis Farina. God rest his soul.
Oh God rest Uncle Abby, man. I cannot. As much as I can't wait to do this particular podcast, I can't wait to rewatch this movie in anticipation for it, because this is
that's kind of the bonus of doing this, right? It forces you to I haven't seen The Dirty Dozen in some time.
Yeah,
I got a chance to rewatch a movie that I remember watching when I was a kid and thinking was pretty fucking cool. So
until you realize it's 2.5 hours long.
Oh my God, it is. It's amazing. Yeah. I thought it was like a 90-minute movie.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
not a chance.
Next time around, man, we'll have a Snatch for that ass. I'm looking forward to it, man. Let us know wherever you listen to this. Let us know what you think of these. Are you buying a ticket to the old Geekcast right over there? Are you buying a ticket to My Bit of Business? We will see. We're 1-1. So like you said, this is it's real tight. It's gonna be something.
Neck and neck.
It's neck and neck. So we got 2 more. So we will end on an odd number, right? And we got to make sure we end on an odd number. All right. This is like a 7-game series.
It is. I hope, and I think it'll go to Game 7.
Let's hope it goes to Game 7.
I think you're gonna kill me on Snatch.
One can only hope.
Yeah.
That's it for this joint, man. For the Dirty Dozen podcast. You got any parting words there, good sir?
Drive safe. 10 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Be defensive. Be defensive.
If you're getting your groceries right now, pay some due courtesy. Don't stand in front of the chicken while you're reading the label. Move out of the way so other people can get their stuff.
And also remember, if you put a pineapple in your cart, you're telling all the other shoppers that you're a swinger.
Man, just full of knowledge, this guy.
Just letting you know.
Just letting us know that is it. Hopefully you got to work safe. That is it for this episode of the Recast, guys. We'll be back with Snatch for you later on right here on Poprika. You all take it easy and have a good one. Enjoy.